I hope you hear me well. No, I will have to unplug. I apologize. There we go. Well, I think this should do, I think. So as usual, I will take the time to upload the thumbnail. So hi Raul, sorry. I think it's Raul. I will just take a couple of minutes to upload the thumbnail, so please excuse me for that. And also to put it on the social, no, we can't. Hi Tam. Dobro večer Jovane. Hi Siege. I hope you guys are doing exceedingly well. I just need... there was something I wanted to do. No, I'll do that later. Hi, Lord Pinky. Yeah. I wanted to actually open the chat. Here it is. My mirror image. And here's pop-out chat. Yes, please. Hi, Varhind. Hi, Daniel. Lord Pinky, Josh Heller, Joseph Schlanta. Oh, really? Well, nice to hear that, Varhind. I mean, you know, I really try not to have too many live streams because, in my personal opinion, they thin out the channel because they're so easy to do and require no preparation, so one can get addicted to it. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Gamer Society. So I really don't want to do too much of them, but you know, ever so often it's fine. Just let me please upload. So how are you guys doing today? I'm very tired. I sort of regretted announcing the live stream, but I will survive. I've been through much worse. I mean, we all have, so this is just a minor inconvenience. Hi, Aurelian. Okay, well, yeah, I think that the thumbnail is good enough. It'll do. Thumb. Okay, now let me just upload this and I can dedicate more time to you as soon as I post it on my sociables. Gabor, hey Boyan, what do you think about Orthodox churches built or decorated in Baroque style, such as those in Vojvodina, St. Spiritans in Corfu, Russia, Ukraine, and so on? To be quite honest, I don't have anything against those. I do prefer sort of traditional Orthodox style, like Byzantine, Georgian, and the more ancient styles. However, these are no less valid, as it were. I just prefer the older style, you know. The Seventh Ecumenical Council practically spoke nothing about the the style that we should have as regards to our Christian art. So, and while there is a lot of talk about the canons of iconography, it is purely handed down, you know, in word. There isn't this compilation of it and so on. A lot of interpretation of iconography is very arbitrary. However, it is still tends to be better than having no interpretation or deeper meaning at all. So yeah, the plush in the background. Yeah, this is the cat. This is the Among Us. Daniel Grr, at what time do you usually get up for work? I get up at 6 a.m. and then I snooze until 6:30. And then I turn into a tornado as I dress, shower, and run to my co-worker because we sort of live close. It takes me a half an hour walk to get to her place, and then she drives me to work, because I'm trying to avoid public transportation, at least now during the corona pandemic, especially now because we are having soaring numbers here in Serbia right now. Hvala mnogo, Bogoljubje, hvala mnogo. Heather Green, is marriage of convenience, but there's love to the other, consider a marriage? Yes. I think that marriage out of love is a very modern notion, because I think that in the older times people focused more on what marriage was supposed to achieve, that is to strengthen the family and raise kids, as opposed to it being based on emotion. And there was an argument for that, because, as we all sadly know, emotions tend to fade away. They can evolve, devolve, be sublimated for something else. They're fickle. So there is something to be said for that kind of marriage. Jovan, is Miloš Asmodeus from my worst vacation ever? No. If he were, I would have told you. I think that Miloš and I would work really well as vacation buddies. But that guy and me, no. Not in a million years, ever. Gamer Society, is enemy considered okay in the Orthodox Church? According to the Acts of the Seventh Ecumenical Council, enemy is okay depending on the content of actual work. So it can be okay, it can be problematic, it really depends. Andrew, if I do not live near an Eastern Orthodox church, can I attend a Coptic Orthodox church? Well, live stream's over. Bye, guys. I mean, we're not in communion, so probably not. However, is it all that better for you to simply stay at home without any sort of Christian community whatsoever? Probably not. I wouldn't say so. However, this is really a spiritual father issue, but if you don't have an Eastern Orthodox church around, I don't know what to tell you. I would lean towards no. John, hi, and thank you, Ingvar. Varkind, are Orthodox supposed to evangelize? We're not supposed to, we must. It is a commandment of the Lord. As Christ said before he ascended, that we are supposed to baptize all nations in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and to teach them to hold everything that he taught. So, that's it. Zoki, yes, kidaju ga demoni. Gamer Society, can I, a Greek Orthodox, attend a Russian Orthodox church? I suggest you ask a Russian Orthodox priest. You can definitely attend it, in the sense nobody will physically prevent you. However, should you? I think that from Russian Orthodox Church point, you're at least not supposed to receive communion there, and at the very least. However, as regards to, and Miloš, not Asmodeus, is here now. So ask the priest there. Gamer Society, how do you switch jurisdictions? Actually, I don't know, because it is really not something that is done in the ye old world countries. You simply go to your local church. However, Serbs would go, for example, we have a small Russian church in the center of Belgrade, and Serbs sometimes go, maybe even regularly. I don't know anyone who goes regularly there, but I suppose there are people who do. I don't know. I think this is more of a bureaucratic question. So you should So you should probably ask the local priest in that church. Daniel Dr. How often do you read Ecclesiastes, generally speaking? My late spiritual father, Father Dimitri, called me an Ecclesiastes machine or an Ecclesiastes counter because I used to pray them a lot. Now, generally, when I pray them, it's one per day. Sometimes I might do two, and if I do two, it is generally one of the Ecclesiastes that I circle through, and the Ecclesiastes for the repose of all the departed, because, as I said many times over, it is one of my favorite prayers ever. It is beautiful, and I so want to learn it by heart, so I can, pray it along the way without the need to actually read through the booklet. However, I must say that due to all of that, I have an amazing ability to keep attention around me while I read as I walk. So it's a very useful skill. Fenurius, should we work more towards autocephalous churches in the West? For example, Great Britain as an example. I think yes. However, I think that should only come when there is a sizable, when there is a large number of Orthodox people actually present. But ideally, I think that all churches should be autocephalous. John, is it good for Orthodox and non-Orthodox to pray together? No, because again, we believe different things, and that is bound to reflect in our prayer. And generally, when such prayers are said, we opt for the lowest common denominator. For example, how are you going to pray a creed with a Catholic? I mean, one of you is going to use the other's version. And while Catholics can do that, we cannot use theirs, they can use ours, but they will definitely mean something else by what they pray. However, I believe personally that if, for example, you live with your non-Orthodox family and so on, and they invite you for a short prayer that isn't something that contains no non-Orthodox elements per se, or they're saying like grace before meals, I think that is fine, and that is far better than to cause horrible divisions in the family just because you don't want to say, dear Jesus, thank you for this food that you are giving us. In Jesus' name we pray, Father, Amen. So Jovan, yes. Scarce books, I apologize. Are all Orthodox churches in full communion? No. For example, I'm an Orthodox Christian Greek. Could I attend a Romanian Orthodox church? I think you could. I don't think there are any pending schisms between our Romanian and Greek Orthodox churches. So, I think that currently you're fine. Until the most recent schism over Ukraine, I would give you a blank yes. You could attend any canonical Orthodox church and receive communion there, provided, of course, that you announce yourself nicely to the priest and follow their local preparation for communion guidelines and so on. However, now it is better to double check. And thank you so much, Reese Report. Thank you so much. And hi, John Mascola. Siege Heavenly. Would Orthodoxy approve if the battle hymn of the Republic or condemn it as nationalist idolatry? I don't know what's the battle hymn of the Republic. So, I don't know what's the... I don't know the lyrics. But generally, anthems are sort of idolatry. So, but I wouldn't put too much song into them. So, thoughts about Carl Lewis? He's great. I love his Mere Christianity. I love his, especially, I love his The Great Divorce. I think it is one of the best apologetic books in Christianity. I have yet to read more of him, but so far it's great. Carson Schrader. Should we encourage better relations between Orthodox churches and the Catholics? Yes. As St. Paul says, strive to have peace with all people. So yes. Jovan, opinion on the Romanian diocese over the territory of Serbian church and the Serbian diocese over the Romanian church. I will quote one Serbian priest. Man, I was at this pan-Orthodox meeting. Nobody likes Romanians. They're infringing on everybody's territories. I mean, it's silly. It shouldn't be done, but as we like to say, Orthodoxy is the largest non-organized religion. So, Heather Green, growing up around extended family, I found the idea of nuclear family is weird. Isn't it more true than the former is more historical than the later? Yes, I think that living with extended families was better, but sadly now it is what it is. To be quite honest, I don't know how we could organize ourselves better as a society. I think that ship has sailed, sadly. Legion Gaming, 30k subs, 48 viewers. Yes, I have referenced that in my latest video. No time to consume content, no problem. Sadly, a huge majority of my audience does not watch my videos, and it is fine. Majority of them, again, subscribed over my differences between Catholics and Orthodox. I don't think they have continued watching the channel. It is what it is. Petrus Xan, have you ever looked into Christian anarchism, and what are your thoughts on it? Not really. In part, I am a Christian anarchist in the sense that I dislike every system. I dislike democracy, I dislike monarchy, I dislike them all. However, I'm definitely not a Christian anarchist in the sense that I do realize that it is better to have anything than nothing. It is better to have an anti-Christian emperor than nothing, honestly. So, and thank you so much, Gerak Shareak. Nepdaz, opinion on Oriental and Eastern Orthodox Union. Personally, I would really hope and pray to see it in our lifetimes. Also, hi Bojan from Greek Orthodox brother, and hello from a Serbian Orthodox brother back. Again, we should all pray for unity and hope it is achieved. And to be honest, I can actually see it with Orientals eventually happening, but again, that does not mean that it will. Again, it needs to be done in truth. So I'm not much of a theologian, so. Daniel Gr, which rather exotic language, example Semitic or Asian, would you like to learn if given the chance? I don't know. I never really thought about it. Maybe Arabic, maybe Hebrew. I find Icelandic sufficiently exotic that I would really like to learn Icelandic. Zach Lekil. Hey Bojan, what is your opinion on internet orthobros? The issue with internet orthobros is they're usually active in venues when there is no actual moderation. And that is why they thrive in those places. However, a lot of them are not Orthodox, a lot of them are catechumens or are very recently baptized, meaning that Christ is still working on them in the same way he's working with all of us, but he simply had less time with them. So, I know that there is a lot of people who dislike them a lot. I have been singed by them considerably, but it's all the sign of the times, in the sense that we are living in extremely individualistic time. Orthobros could not have happened when I was becoming Orthodox, because the only place where you could actually talk about Orthodoxy were like internet forums, which were under heavy church moderation, and you simply could not have somebody saying, "Oh, if you're accepted into church only by chrismation, you should find someone to baptize you and re-chrismate you." That would that would like mean immediate ban, and you would simply have no say in the issue whatsoever. However, church will deal with that, or at the very least Christ, so it's all in good hands. Hello, Chopo. Šta ima va istoku? Nothing. Oh, and my coworker Javor is here. Albert Smith, Boyan, why are you up so late? Because I don't need sleep. I only need sleep when I'm at work, and I'm horribly sleepy, and I choke myself on coffee. Also, John and the random person, thank you so much. Jay Staley, in your opinion, is the filioque the greatest single issue preventing reunification between the East and the West, or is it the papacy? It's both. I honestly think it's both. I don't want to measure which one is more. I would. Oh, thanks, Milos. You're the best. I would say that. Maybe filioque is that more problematic because it touches on our relationship with God, you know. And I can definitely see a lot of benefits to having a single pope. I think that, however, I see considerable issues with having a pope too. And I think that both churches are currently experiencing the worst of their respective organization. Catholics not having an ideal pope and us bickering all the time. So. By the way, Elena, thank you so much for the clarification as regards to the Battle Hymn of the Republic. You know, I was never really a fan of claiming that God is on our side, at least in military conflicts. It makes sense when we are in the church and we sing "For God is with us" because we are fighting against the devil. However, when we turn him against our fellow humans, even if there are our enemies, that is a problem. Okay, sorry. Mom was calling me. It happens. Excel Somperque. I apologize if I mispronounce this. What is your opinion in Protestant saying in life we don't need a religion, only Christ? That's simply individualism. Christ does not say that you should pray, "My Father who art in heaven." He came to establish our church, not a bunch of not disconnected individuals. It is one of those things that are supposed to make your life easier, like, oh, I don't have to deal with all those horrible Christians because I don't have any actual connection with them. You do. You very much do. And as St. Paul says, when one member of the body suffers, the entire body suffers. When one member of the body is glorified, the whole body is glorified. And we feel that like in everyday situations. A Protestant will get, accused for something that, Catholic priests have done recently. You know what I mean? But they will also hear, well, I don't like Christianity, but St. Francis of Assisi is great. So that is that, basically. So no man's an island, and especially us Christians, because not only are we not islands in the sense that we are connected physically to other human beings, but we as Christians are connected amongst each other through the Eucharist, and also by the grace of the Holy Spirit that ripples through us when we pray. So I do not, I will not claim such things. Okay. And thank you so much, Dan from Wales. John, what political system do you think would sit best with Orthodoxy? Of course, it will fall short anyway. I know Orthodox monarchy. But again, it really depends who actually is the king or the emperor. I mean, And yeah, Heather, yeah, that is precisely why I say that it is best that we have like individuals, that extended families are better. Oh, and thank you for that on St. Augustine. It's really... you have an opinion on Dragon Millen's translation of the Old Testament? I haven't read it yet. And I don't really am a scholar of like biblical translations or anything, so I can't really comment on that. Carson, what is your opinion on Orthodox being the fastest growing Christian denomination in America? Well, thank God, may it grow even faster. Lasha, I'm sorry, the name is complicated. Make one video about Plato. I know that he is in paradise by the Christian tradition. I don't know basically anything about Plato outside what I have read online. I mean, philosophy was never really something that really interested me. I know a lot of people who really like philosophy, but for me, not really. Legion Gaming, hey Boyan, do you believe that the lives, works, and teachings of some Catholic saints are valid? Yeah, I do. I honestly do. Like, I would say that majority of them. I mean, they were people who tried their absolute best to live out their faith in what was given to them. I often like to list the example of Jean Vianney, curé d'Ars, the parish priest of Ars. What he did in his little village is simply astounding, and I do like to read his life from time to time because I personally find it very inspiring. Sage Henley, is there such a thing as Christian communism? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe, actually, there is monasticism. Monasticism is communism at its finest. You literally own everything in common. That's communism at its finest. Well, also then, thank you so much. Knowing that Orthodoxy is growing in the UK, that is really nice. Mary, I was trying to convert when I began having increasing panic attacks. Any suggestion to stop them? This is sort of difficult because it is a mental issue. I don't want to say it's an illness, but I think that it is one of those, it is part of epidemics of anxiety that we have. I do not know what's the contents of these panic attacks. Maybe you feel intimidated by the priests or something, which is something that I sort of had already, but that was simply combined with my personal dislike of meeting new people when I was considerably younger. Maybe you should try to depersonalize selves, but this is sort of a fancy way of saying, have you tried not feeling them? But I like to quote my late spiritual father, no thing is as good or as bad as it seems. And that is so true, proven many times over. Like, you might feel that priest is going to devour you when you try to speak to him, and he's just like a guy in a robe with a beard, and he's trying his best, and maybe he might be at that moment too busy to talk to you, but he will offer some other time slot or something. It's basically everyday stuff. Petrson, I don't know if this is relevant, but I heard from other Orthodox that the vaccine is the mark of the beast and that it shouldn't be taken because it's linked to fatal cell lines in the reproduction or testing. It's not the mark of the beast because there are like at least 5 different vaccines which are made in different ways. And vaccines are given in right shoulder, left shoulder. No vaccine is, as far as I know, is given through the forehead, which is how the mark is performed. However, as regards to fetal cell lines, that is more concrete argument against the vaccines. However, this is something that you really should discuss with your priest, see what your bishop tells you and so on, because it is so... thank you, Cripple. Thank you so much. Hamburger. Basically, there are two schools of thought. One is that because they come from those fetal sense lines, all of those vaccines are absolutely moral. However, my opinion on that is, would that mean that every procedure that had immoral origins is by itself moral? And if so, does that mean that Orthodoxy needs to take a completely anti-medicinal approach to all medical procedures, because a lot of them were, I mean, the origin story of majority of medical procedures and medicines is simply horrendous. And it's not even like, oh, that medicine that you take was tested in some gruesome ways. No, especially medicines that we don't take anymore, like mercury or thalidomide or something, you know. Okay, that wasn't medicine, but you know what I mean. I would have much more issues with the vaccines, not much more, but I would be directly against them if they led to further abortions. This way, I think there is some leeway, and I think that is precisely why a lot of bishops have said it is up to your conscience whether you take them or you don't. And I think that this is what St. Paul says in the Epistle for Romans, that we are condemned and justified by our thoughts. You know, if you think that it is sinful, I know what to tell you, don't take it. If you don't think it is sinful, and you think you should take it, take it. I myself have taken it. So we have a video on the vaccines on our podcast, Church Mouse Chronicles. It was posted recently, so check that out. Okay, I answered the vaccine question. And thank you, McCoy. John, what do you think are some valuable Western traditions in liturgy, prayer, etc.? I don't know. I like the architecture, the art, when it's not too physical, so to speak. The Litany of the Saints is beautiful. I like the Rosary. I love the Chaplet of St. Michael. I pray it often. I think there's a lot. The vestments are beautiful. I haven't dedicated myself to reading of prayers, but I'm sure there are gems like Salve Regina is beautiful, Dies Irae is beautiful, the Golden Sequence sung on the Pentecost is absolutely beautiful. I think there's quite a lot of beauty in the Western liturgy. So, Big Shock 30K, of which only 1,000 watch. Hey Daniel, I haven't been in the Church of St. George in Venice. Somehow it has always eluded me, even though I was in Venice like maybe 5 times. The very next time I go there, I will definitely go. Okay. Thank you so much, Game Trash. Mig, what do you think of gays? Should we spit on them like the Greek bishop said we should? No, we should spit on the Greek bishop. What does Christ say? Do unto others as you would like to be done unto you. What's to be said of spitting? I mean, complete nonsense. Also, thank you for the class. I mean, would you convert to something where people approach you, spit you in the face? The last thing you will ever do is convert to that thing. You know? They're worthy of love. Of course, that does not mean to support them in sin. But that does not also mean that we should spit them, slap them, or do God else that horrible site Russian Faith tells us to do. That site is horrible. And I'm going to And I'm going online to say it. And do you think that Orthodox in Europe is stagnating or declining? If it is, I believe it's declining slower than Catholicism or especially Protestantism. But is there any evidence against the decline theory? To be quite honest, I don't know. I don't know the numbers. I don't think it is declining in Serbia. Honestly, I don't think it is. I would say that it is, at least here, exceedingly strong. Legion Gaming, how do I convert my brother who hates Christianity and God? Should I try or should I just give up? If he hates Christianity, I would advise you against actively trying to talk with him until, you know, he opens up in some way or the other. On my secondary channel, I have a video called, the secondary channel is called Bible Illustrated Hands. I have a video called How to Convert an Atheist. And everything I say there applies to your brother who may not be an atheist but still hates Christianity. So pray for him, you know, do good works in his name, maybe fast additionally. Again, this should be discussed with your priest. Fast additionally for his sake. And simply don't give deadlines to God. He might as well convert on his deathbed. You do not know. And who knows? Maybe he does not become a Christian, but he stops hating Christianity. And maybe in the eyes of the Lord, that would be enough, because it would be a much larger leap for him than it is for us when we, for example, convert. Hi, Chapo. Thank you. So, Jovan, other than the coffee hour, what's your favorite part of the liturgy? I love the canon of the Eucharist. I love the Great Litany. I love the Litany of Supplication, where we pray that the Lord would send us an angel, the guardian of our souls and bodies. Yeah, I think that's it. So, random person, it's foreshadows mark of the beast. Well, yeah, but because the mark of the beast itself parodies chrismation and baptism, because it leaves a mark on the place where we make the sign of the cross. You know, it's right arm, and we start with the forehead. And in the way that they have made a sign of the cross in ancient times, it was like over the forehead. So that is why I do not think that the vaccine is the mark. Wenceslav Popovsky, would you prefer Byzantine music or Western music that is chanted in churches? I prefer Byzantine chanting. I like both. I generally prefer like Georgian chanting a little bit, but when Byzantine chant hits the right spot, it is unbeatable. Mr. Dodge, how do I know if God exists? There are some events in my life where I have directly experienced His help. I'm sorry, I'm not going to share those because these are very personal, and they're not meant to convince anyone. They're there to show to me that God does exist and that He loves me. However, on a more objective scale, I think that I don't know how apologists call this, but honestly, if everything is made or created by something else, then where does the universe come from? Would that mean that the universe is eternal, which is a nonsense? Or did it have to come from somebody? You know, and I think that religion deals with that beautifully. Why no Eastern Orthodox proselytizing? I never actually knew how to pronounce that word. In Western Europe and UK, it really feels like EU churches are just ethnic exclusive. Well, yeah, because they're formed by people who generally wouldn't even go to church in their home country, you know? That is the big issue. That is what people generally don't know. you move, for example, from Serbia to UK, and even if you're an atheist, you will go to church because it is your special little club. And of course, that in that spirit, nobody will do missionary work, and they will occasionally actively hamper any missionary spirit by an overzealous priest or an individual in the flock. So that is why that happens. However, what I'm trying to do is precisely that, to give at least a little bit of that glimpse of orthodoxy to the West, because I don't know any Eastern languages. Account. Orthodox answer to everything is ask your priest because they have no visible principle of unity. No, that is because we actually put a lot of stock in our local communities that are headed by priests and bishops. We do not have ready-made answers because people are individuals, and I can't say take the vaccine to everybody. I don't know who these people are. Maybe somebody will have some horrible reaction, and I don't want to bear their death on my soul. You know, this is such a bad take. Thank you, Didi. My good Chaslav. Gamer Trash. What's your opinion on women covering their heads in church? I'm all for it. My mission does it, but not many other churches in the US, especially fellow Greek Orthodox, keep the tradition alive. Just wondering. I'm for it, but it's not something that I fuss over or literally pay any attention to. I'm for it when it happens, but I would not reprimand something. Fenorius, is it okay for Orthodox Christians to practice martial arts and refer to common sports like MMA, boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling? I think it's okay. Maybe MMA is kind of too bloody, but you know. Seronimus, yes, I do remember. You relax. And thank you so much. Yeah, I do remember you, so don't worry. What do you think of the people trying to revive Celtic Christianity through the Eastern Orthodox Church in Ireland? I'm for it. Again, it has some beautiful traditions, not of many of which I'm aware of currently, but what little I have seen, I did like. Deck. Boyan, have you watched any of Jonathan Peugeot's videos? Yes, I watched a lot of them. They're great. Should we put in God we trust on all currency of Christian nations and have public denouncing false religions and burning of sacred artifacts of said false religions publicly? And I don't think there's any particular reason to put it on the money. I mean, what would that achieve? And also burning of sacred artifacts of other religions. Again, I'm not really for that. We should convert them with arguments. If we burn them, by force, that I do believe that in a way we affirm that our arguments are weak. If they convert and then they sort of destroy their sacred artifacts, okay, fine. It's for them to renounce it. So igraš ča u zadnje vrijeme. Ne znam šta je ča. Ča. Okay, Seronimus, if I may humbly request prayer for two people, please pray for Courtney and Elena. It would really mean a lot. God bless you. So, okay, everybody, please say a brief prayer for Courtney and Elena. So, okay, Logan, do you have any good advice for finding holier ways to pass the time aside from browsing YouTube? Generally, the less electronic it is, the better it is, sadly. I recently started to sew. Okay, luckily I have my kit here. This is like my third work. Wait, I need to check on the browser if it's rotated properly. It is. Nice. So No, okay, like this. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to rotate and it's mirror imaged, so I like this a lot. However, I would like to warn you that not every hobby needs to be sewing Christograms, writing church hymns, planting flowers in the shape of the cross. I mean, if you could do this, of course, but do not feel obliged, to turn absolutely everything into a religious practice. Of course, we should pray, and if our hobby is religious, as it were, that's great. But I know that a lot of people feel this as if it is a commandment that we only, even when we like do hobbies, it absolutely needs to be about religion. It doesn't. I do this because I like it. I also draw secular stuff or fantasy stuff. I mean, I don't anymore because I don't have time. But if I did have time, I would definitely do it. So. Paint, draw, do music, do sports, or I would really like, for example, to go on hikes, on hilltops and what's on. That is my that is my dream at the moment. But again, so pressed for time. I think if you cook, make yourself into a good cook. I have recently moved, as you can probably see, and I started cooking for myself, and it's very fun. Definitely not as fun as cleaning up afterwards, but there's a lot of things. At the worst, if everything else fails, go to Google and hobby ideas, and you will find something that you will like. Hopefully. Never have you considered monasticism? If so, do you have any monasteries in mind? I did, and I might do it when I'm older. However, as far as specific monasteries, no. If I do decide to become a monk, I will most probably go to the bishop, which would be my patriarch, which would mean that I probably won't have audience with him, but by someone delegated by him, and simply ask him, hello, can you please suggest me a monastery that is sort of, dying out, and maybe a new monk would be a good idea there, and I would simply go there, Random person, what do you think of what St. Pius was saying about the vaccine? I mean, again, I do not put much stock into those prophecies. I'm sorry, especially because he said the vaccine, and there are like 5 of them, which are very different, developed by different companies, one of which is State Academy of Health of Russia, State Institute of Health of Russia. So I do not think, I'm not saying that it is not true what he said. However, I do not believe that he was referring to these specific vaccines that we have at this moment. Jonathan Humphrey, why don't they sense incense in reader services? I like the incense. I think that the reason for that is because offering incense during the services is seen akin to lifting of hands during the services. It is something that is only done by the clergy. However, when you're at home, you can offer incense and lift hands all you want. Petros Dorizas, without trying to get into debate here on Constantinople versus Moscow, it seems there is a lot of political muscle in Russia trying to sow dissent, even with the schism. Any thoughts? Yes. I mean, I think that is generally true. I'll say it openly. Ecumenical patriarchate is a playing piece for American secret services, and Russian Orthodox Church is a playing piece for Russian secret services, and simply us poor Christians are caught in the crossfire, and that's all you need to know about the schism. Frankie, what saint is patron of music? In Orthodoxy, I do not know. I think you're safe with Saint Roman the Melodist. I mean, I think he's a fair good. I think that's a fair good. Luis Sanchez, I'm going to start catechism soon. What role would you volunteer for in the church, knowing what you know now? I don't know. It's sort of difficult. Like, what roles would there be? You know, I'm always for something that is related to outreach for the poor. Wind, do you find overlapping Orthodox jurisdictions, especially among those coming from similar traditions, OCA, Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia, Bulgarian diocese in OCA, Bulgarian Orthodox Church, in the US to be problematic? Yes, I do, because it is a complete distortion of Orthodox ecclesiology, because people can switch and choose their jurisdictions, which is simply lunacy. And we have a very huge Protestantization issue that people start to choose their jurisdictions based on how much they like or dislike a bishop, which church is cringe or based, and other complete nonsense. That is simply Protestantization of Orthodox Church. Hi Frankie and hi Giles. John Townsend, are you Jewish? No. I'm nearly 100% sure that I don't have a drop of Jewish blood in me. Daniel, considering how hopeless things can be, even in the church and among the laity, how can we avoid falling into despondency and gloom? Simply think how it felt for Lot, who was watching abject doom around him, and yet angels came to him. You know, I think that even Paul in Hebrews, I believe, refers how much his soul suffered watching all the sin around him, and even there, the Lord sent his angels to help him out. Frankie Marrero, I hope all is well. Yes, thank you so much. Limited. Do you ever watch Friar Casey's channel? I saw your comment once on his video. I watch him from time to time, not like all, but if he comments on something that interests me, I might watch. Roller, is that embroidery? Yes, that's embroidery. I'm sorry. Is it okay to be a historical collector as a hobby, or is it too materialistic? No, it's not too materialistic. It's too materialistic, like if you're spending so much money that you cannot help your brothers in need or help out the church or provide for your family. Relax. So, Chopo, do I play something recently? No, I downloaded No Man's Sky because I watched Internet Historian's video about it for like 50 times. And it won't work because I don't have enough memory of RAM. Then I wanted to buy a graphics card, but because of those damn cryptocurrencies, they're so expensive. So now I'm playing when I have time, which is next to never right now, Adam, Ancient Domains of Mystery, which is one of my favorite games ever. Don't try it, trust me, it's not worth the time sink. It's totally worth the time sink. Siege, what will be the Orthodox view of genetic research and creating human-animal hybrid? I'm not even going to read the rest of this question. Absolutely no. No, like, that's not even like playing God. That is playing God if God was the devil, you know? So, for medical purpose or creating real-life cat girls. No, just no. Richard Curtis, congratulations on 30K, Habibi. Thank you so much. Where's that guy who mocked me for having only 48 viewers? I have 53 now. Oh, I have to read this one. I really like it. Heather Green. I find it important for everyone to present their home like a personal museum. Anything old that is of quality is worth keeping, as you never know when such things cease to exist. Beautifully put, and I agree wholeheartedly. I recently did a lot of research on St. Mark of Ephesus, and he's so brave and awesome. Truly a very wise man. God bless him. Yes, amen. Do you know why people think priests are mean? My priest is great and lots of fun. There is this nunsploitation video called The Killer Nun, about a nun that kills a number of people in a geriatrics home. And it is clear that she's insane, so she's not evil, she's simply insane. And she's brought before her mother superior, and her mother superior says something that is very well put. By your actions we will all be judged, even though there are thousands who gave themselves to selfless service of help to others. That is why people think priests are mean. One mean priest will nullify what thousands good and jolly and dedicated and zealous priests do. However, what I have learned from experience, that while one mean priest might nullify hundreds of good ones, also one good can nullify hundreds of bad, and it is like layered. Nullify. But, we need to work for the good to prevail. Petros, when I went to Protestant services, I found it so weird that people were doing the signs of peace, exchanging hugs, kisses, handshakes. We don't do this in the Greek church, do any Orthodox? Generally, no. However, during the liturgy of St. James, I do think that people do exchange the kiss of peace. Or now during COVID, nod of peace. Raul Romero, but Jesus' blood is Jewish blood, so we do have Jewish blood in us. Okay, fine. You got me there. Do you think Eastern Orthodox countries don't really care about being Orthodox, but just say that they are? There is no such thing as Orthodox country, There is a country that has historical ties to Orthodoxy. Church is made of people, not of country or of state, And I think that we need to clear that up. So anyway, everyone, please pray for Daniel and Daria and Courtney and Elena. Oh, Western Orthodox prayers and devotions. It is her. Subscribe to her channel. It's really lovely, and it gives you a nice taste of what Western Rite Orthodoxy is like. And hi, Brittany. Fenorius, are there any jurisdictions or archdioceses which are guilty of introducing innovations or practices which are not Orthodox in origin? None that really come to my mind. I've heard that there is one Greek archbishop that really prided himself in introducing organs in Greek worship. St. Peter Mogila literally invented rite of blessing icons out of nowhere. But these are hardly non-Christian. Organ is a Christian instrument, not Orthodox, but still, it's definitely associated with Christianity. So, what if we started a non-violent revolution of living out our Orthodox faith and disobey the government on a mass scale by following our faith when the government opposes it? This is what we should all be doing. Brittany McLeod, will you ever become a priest? I really doubt it. To care, in Serbia, do younger people care about going to church? Generally, no, but that is, again, generally the issue with young people, because they associate church with something maybe not old-fashioned, but boring. However, it is generally the plague in Serbia that people generally don't go to church. but I think that things are improving, and that we are slowly shaking off that legacy of communism, where people simply assume that, oh well, only old people go to church or similar nonsense. Deck. I might be moving to study in Poland in the future. I found a Polish Orthodox church in the city I would be studying in. So do you just show up there or what? Yes. I'm a bit of cradle Orthodox, sorry. Simply show up, introduce yourself to the priest. Hi, I'm this or that person from that or that place. I would like to come here. What rules for communion? When do you have confession? And that's about it. Maybe you can even say something like, "Can you please introduce me to somebody because I don't know anyone?" Just my 2 cents. Petros Dorizas, do you have any idea why we have pews in Greek churches, even in Greece? Also, why we have liturgy so early in the morning? Just going to be asking you everything now, Boyan. I don't know. I have no idea how pews came into being in the Greek Orthodox Church. This is something that really interests me too. So if somebody knows, please let me know. James, congrats on the 30K subs. Thank you so much, James, and thank you for taking part. My church in the USA is nearly entirely converts. It's highly mission-focused church, thank God. And it's interesting how much zeal some of us have compared to the cradle Orthodox that aren't too worried about going. Yeah, that's typical cradle versus convert mindset. You're welcome, Deku. Well, this was an hour. I believe I have answered everybody's questions. I thank you all for coming over. King Arcane, you're late, yes, but you can ask a question if it's quick. I simply wanted to have a nice, short, and sweet live stream with you all. So thank you all for coming, for dropping by, for comments. Okay, we have a quick question from a long name. Do different Orthodox branches venerate the Theotokos in different ways? No. For instance, I can notice in Russian prayer books, the Theotokos appears in more prayers than Antiochian prayer books. Again, there is no universal Orthodox prayer book, so maybe some of them might be. I would say that Russians are maybe tad more dedicated to the Theotokos than a lot of other Orthodox, but again, you can't really measure that by how much prayers to her there are. For example, I pray O Virgin Theotokos a lot. I don't need 50 prayers to Mother of God because O Virgin Theotokos for me is more than enough. So. My grandson is watching your hands because you would draw while talking before you reveal your face, and hopes you will resume doing that again because he's trying emulating your drawing. Oh, thank you so much. I will do it, from time to time. Oh, I'm sorry, King Erican. Hope you can drop by. I really want, but I don't know how to resolve that issue. For some reason, my Chrome does not detect my my microphone on my headset for some reason, and I have to do it like this. If Chrome would detect my microphone, I could schedule a live stream and all of you would receive a very easy to see notification, not like this. So Anna Ilic, how often will you do lives? There are no rules. At one point I wanted to do one live per 8 videos or maybe even 10, but no rules really. I don't want to bind myself, and I also don't want to do overdo lives, If Noah and his family were the last people on earth at one time, would they be cavemen without a society? Well, Arkman. Okay, bye. Well, I think that's it. Again, thank you so much for dropping by, guys. You were really all lovely. Thank you for keeping the chat clean. Thank you for not losing your minds over me, saying things that you might disagree with, even if you're completely right. So, thank you, Faye. Thank you so much. Thank you all, and I hope to see you in one of the next live streams, and definitely on one of our many channels. Bible Illustrated Hands, Church Mouse Chronicles, Movie Dismemberment, which is my movie review channel. Sign up. I should post a video tomorrow. God grant us this. And that's it. Bye. Okay, there's the button. Okay, it's not clicking. Okay.